Hello. Today I'm excited to share something I've been working on. A silverfish windburst cannon. It's a design I'm really proud of. I think you're going to find it both powerful and fun to see in action. Let's get right into it. So, you might already notice this is very similar to another design. I've taken heavy inspiration from their design, but also made countless changes that make this so much easier to build and so much more effective. So to begin, let's look at what the designs were originally. So there were two versions of this. There was the version that could hold an unlimited amount of silverfish using vines. And then there was the other version that could only hold however many silverfish could fit in its pressure plate before dying from entity cramp. Now the purpose of this pressure plate was to count the number of silverfish, but it was really inefficient because this can only hold 15 different values of weight. And it takes a heck of a lot of silverfish to get it up to 15. So this isn't very effective. There's also a lot of torch towers and random redstone dust, just like this. And the button to activate this is all the way up there, which isn't even accessible by the player. This tube is way too big for what it needs to be. This area is too large. This note block and observer are unnecessary. You don't have to have this here. This whole area can be shrunken down. You can just lift the ceiling down. There's just so many changes that I can make to this design to make it so much better, and that's what I was thinking. So that's what I did. But one of the main issues was that you could either count the amount of silverfish, or you could not count the amount of silverfish and not have to worry about entity cramming. Now, you can see this design is kind of broken because the silverfish are just climbing up the vines, and eventually the vines would grow up to the top. Although this can just be fixed with a simple sign, which is what I did in my design. You see we have this giant tube that's unnecessary, and just so many things that I decided to make my own design. So back in this world, I'll show all the changes I've made. So this is the area where the allays spawn the silverfish. You'll see that now we have a roof on the whole area, and it's way smaller. This used to be a 5x5 area, now it's a 3x3 area. We can also see into the design because of this glass here, so you can see if the allays still have the effect or not. You can see how many silverfish are still flowing in. And also, there's a dispenser on the top instead of a dispenser on the side, like right here. It used to point into the side of this campfire and affect the allays like that. But since mobs, when they get a potion from the side, it lasts for a less amount of time. I moved it to the top here, so now they get almost 3 minutes of infestation instead of 2, which you would get if you splash them from the side. Now I'll talk about how I did the counting. So you can see we still have the vines here to prevent entity cramming, but in order to count the amount of mobs, we have this piece of string here. It used to be that we had string right here, which would be really bad because if I show you, if we spawn silverfish, you'll see that there's almost a constant wave once it starts going, or there's silverfish stuck in the string. So that means that this observer won't really ever be able to detect when there's a silverfish passing through it. But if we put the string up here, like where it is in the final design, you can see occasionally a silverfish will pass through this string up here. And you can actually hear the dispenser clicking as it counts a silverfish. Okay? So this is how I solved the counting issue. We can also see that I'm killing them with a firework rocket instead of the instant damage 2 potion that was used in the previous entity cramming design. That was because they fell directly onto the vines and not onto something that deals damage like this dripstone. Now we have this dripstone here because it deals extra fall damage. You can see that all these silverfish are at almost no health, kind of like 2 health, something like that. So that when this firework rocket shoots, it's going to blow them all up and deal enough damage. We still affect them with the windburst potion up here. And then the firework rocket dispenses from the side. And you can see that we have very concentrated redstone. So this tripwire is powering this redstone, which has this repeater, which is triggering all this stuff in a very compact area. Pretty much as compact as you can make it. Now here we'll see we have this counting system, right? And it's much more accurate, like I said, than the pressure plate, because we can have very specific amounts of items. So we can see this is slowly ticking down, and once it would dispense all of these items, you can see that it'll notice that it's gotten the amount, and then we hear this nice little ding. And that's what's gonna tell the player to go. For this example, we won't be using that. This is just so that you go a consistent amount of blocks. Like I found if you put in a stack, you can almost every time go almost exactly 7,000 blocks. So if you're around that distance, maybe like plus or minus 1,000 blocks, then a stack is great for that. Now we can see that we have the maximum amount of silverfish from 1 potion. You can do multiple potions, but in this case I'm not. so we can see how far we go. If we head in here, we'll freeze, shoot us out, and you can see we're flying at like light speed. We're just zooming out of there like almost 20,000 blocks immediately. We're 900 blocks in the air. We're slowly descending. But you can see we've gone so far. Like, it's crazy. We could probably go 25,000 blocks with just one potion. If you see an F3 below where it says facing east, it says waiting for chunk. When you see waiting for chunk, that means that the chunks haven't appeared yet. So you should stay floating in the air. But you can see that's now gone, and we have chunks. So here we are, almost 25,000 blocks away. We can head over to this cool village. Like, this is actually crazy. And this might be a second base you might have that you travel in between. So that's a great use for this cannon. So, as you can see, with just 2 potions and 1 firework rocket, we were able to launch ourselves 25,000 blocks in almost an instant. And you can see we took 0 damage from the whole thing, and it just works amazingly. Now, the main purpose of this counting system is so that when you launch yourself with like 1 stack of mobs, once it dings, you'll see, okay, I have 1 stack of silverfish. That's not 64 silverfish. That's like 1 stack worth of silverfish, you know? So what that would do is when you launch out, you go almost exactly 7,000 blocks so that you can launch back that same distance and not fly past where you're intending to go. Now, with the other design, they did not have a provided schematic or a tutorial, so I'm going to do both of those just to make this that much better. So check the description for the schematic if you want to use that, but let's just right into the tutorial. Alright, so here are the materials you're going to be needing to build this machine. So we're going to start with a stack and 32 blocks of any block except for these: stone bricks, cracked stone bricks, deep slate, mossy stone bricks, chiseled stone bricks, or cobblestone, because it can be infested by mobs. So I'll be using smooth stone for this example, but you can just use wood or something like that. Now we also have redstone dust, 5 chests, 10 slabs of any type. You don't have to worry about infesting with slabs. We have 5 glass, 5 specifically iron trapdoors, 5 signs of any wood type, 3 dispensers, 3 ladders, 3 redstone repeaters, 2 hoppers, 2 pointed dripstone, 2 soul sand, 2 string, 2 tripwire hooks, 1 block of gold, 1 campfire, 1 dropper, 1 note block, 1 fence. It could be any wood type for the fence. 1 observer, 1 comparator, 1 redstone torch, 1 pressure plate, and 1 trapdoor. We also need 1 vine. For these 1 item things, I'll just shove it all into a bundle just to save up inventory space. Alright, now let's get on to this tutorial. I'm going to be using scaffolding. We should just be able to build up to the top. There we go. You can see that's very high in the air. We want to be around 150 blocks. You could be really anywhere works because you're going to be launched into the air anyway. So yeah, let's head up the scaffolding, and then we can build the machine at the top. Alright, here we are. We're not that high up, so you can easily head down and come back up if you want more materials or something like that. But let's get started with the farm. Okay, to begin, we'll place a block here. And then we'll place 2 dripstone on top of that, just like this. Now we'll place a block to the side of this, and then place more blocks to the side of this dripstone. Now we'll take our fence over here, and we'll place it on the side of this block. We'll also go along 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then placing a block to the side of this, place 1 there, and then go across 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 3 blocks. Now we'll place blocks all around here, like this. Then we'll place a block here, a slab there, and then a slab on top of this. We'll also place glass there, a block here, a block on the side of this. We'll take our vines and place it on the side of that block. Now we'll build up 1 more block, just like this. Now we'll place 4 blocks on the side of this, just like that. 1 block here, a block here, another block, and 1 like that. Next, we need to place a block under this. So we might have to drop down onto this pillar here, like this. And then we will place blocks. We'll place blocks just to the side here, just so that we can reach under this. And then we can place the soul sand below these 2 blocks here, just like this. Okay, now we could take our water and then make an infinite water source. So we'll build up here. We can place blocks like this. This is all temporary. We'll place water like this. We can scoop it up. Then break this. Place a sign here. And then we'll place water there. Water there. Scoop up more. Place water here. and then a sign on this so that it doesn't have a bubble column. Now we'll fill up the rest of our buckets, and then we can just destroy this. Alright, now we'll place a slab here, an iron trapdoor under that. Then we'll place 3 blocks like this. We'll place string here. We'll place our blocks without this one with tripwire hooks, just like this. There. Tripwire hook. Okay, exactly like this. Now we'll take our redstone dust, place one here, place a block like that. Whoops. And then a repeater on 4 ticks, another repeater on 4 ticks. Place a block against that. A repeater here. Redstone. We'll place our 2 dispensers there. Then 2 blocks here. 1 above us. Like that. We can just break this dripstone. Alright. Now, we'll take our slabs, going up like this. We'll put a block here. Redstone dust. 2 more blocks, like this. This is in the schematic, but you don't actually need a block here. You can just remove that. Next, we'll place 2 blocks here, like this. Have the block here be a pressure plate. We can have also redstone. We'll continue up with all these blocks, like glass here, and a block there. Now we'll put a hopper going to this dispenser, a block here, go across this diagonally. We'll place 2 slabs, just like this. We'll place 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, with 2 ladders on that. We'll place a block here, and then place the trap door off of the ladder, just so that it flaps open this way. Next, we can place chests here. Then we'll put slabs on it like that. 2 more slabs here. Then we'll place glass like that. We'll place an optional gold block right there with a ladder on top. And then we'll place blocks all along here, just like this. Now we'll place a block here, piece of glass, and then we'll surround all of this with blocks, just so we can get our 3x3 area here. Keep going around like this until we can see it all flows into this spot where we can place our water bucket. Oop. That will actually waterlog the slab, so we'll have to place against this block. We'll place a sign here to stop the flow of water. Place a block like that. We'll place string like right there, like that. 1 observer, like right there. Then that observer will go into a dropper, which we can put right there. Next, we'll put a chest against this dropper. We'll take our comparator, our redstone torch, and our note block out. Put our comparator against that. We'll get a smooth stone, a note block there, and our redstone torch. This should make a nice ding sound, just like that. Now we can continue up with these blocks, placing a block on top of all of this, just like that, in a nice square. We can put in the hopper, 2 chests, and then we can wire up this redstone dust. Might have to head down here, come over here, step on this pressure plate, and then wire this redstone going all the way up. Standing here, we can place 3 blocks like this, and then we can place redstone right there. Now this will make a complete circuit, and if you step on the pressure plate, this dispenser will fire. And there you go. Since I'm doing this tutorial, I don't have a laser in there, nor do I have potions or fireworks in these spots, but you should be able to do that by following the tutorial that is linked in the description that shows you how to put the allays into this spot. And yeah, again, to use this farm, stand right here. Once you hear the ding, or just once you feel like you have enough in there, then you can jump, go like this, and then just stand here, wait until it explodes, and then it will be launched out the front. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this works great for you. And I also hope that YouTube actually shows this video, because they haven't shown any of my other videos. YouTube, please, 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 please give me views. Please, 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 please. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.